gamers, and welcome to episode 319 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade. I'm one of your co-hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Man, there's some things going on, but it's not really I really care to talk about. So we can get right down into it, Dan. I may say something about sports. I know Wizards have been doing pretty good lately. They've been on a roll.
Okay.
They had won like 5 in a row till they lost to the Clippers, but then they won the next game against the Nuggets. So,
wow.
Yeah. So lately they beat the Lakers, which I'm happy about. I feel like that's the championship right there. So I was like, yeah, we beat the Lakers, even though the Lakers are down 2 players, but LeBron was there. Okay. LeBron was there. So that was good enough for me.
Need. Yeah.
Yeah. All I need is to get him, just beat him, and I'm happy. But nah, I'm just joking. But but the Wizards, at least they look like a better team. Like they look like a different team now than before. So maybe they finally got some chemistry happening, because the way things have been rushed because of the season. I mean, that's what's happening with a lot of the teams in the NBA. So yeah, I'm just happy that they're looking like something good to watch, because this is the only team that I'm willing to watch an NBA, because even when there's, like I said, when there's other great games, I can't. Sometimes I can watch, but not all the time. Sometimes I just can't. I don't care. I can play video games or something. But when the Wizards play, I want to watch them. I want to watch that game. I know NCAA. They're about to have their tournament. I think this may be the last week in the regular season games. I want to say, or we're getting close. We're getting close to it. I'm not sure, but March is almost here. So March Madness, is happening. Maryland, they're on the cusp, but they gonna have a tough one playing Michigan State. It looked like Michigan State maybe they found their mojo, because they haven't been great this year, but they won their last 2 games against pretty decent teams. So, actually, I don't know. They might have won more games before that, but the last few games I did see Michigan State play, they won. So I'm like, oh no, Maryland, hope I can beat them. I know Duke's look like they're getting better. At least they've been winning lately. Because Duke and North Carolina have been bad this year. But North Carolina has been bad, I guess you could say, the last 2 years now. Because they weren't good last year. Duke, this is like the first time in my lifetime that I ever seen like Duke not rank. Duke and North Carolina not rank at the same time.
That's crazy.
Like, I know, it is crazy. You say COVID, it's COVID. But yeah. So, but it was like Duke might get the bubble. They might get in, though. I mean, most likely they're going to get in, unfortunately. I wanted to see a day, let it be in my lifetime. Well, it has been in my lifetime, technically, but I wasn't watching college basketball when they don't make the tournament. That's what I wanted to see, but I ain't going to see it. But yeah, I hope Maryland can get in. Baseball is about to start. Spring training is Sunday. We're recording on Saturday, so tomorrow. So I am happy. Want to see the O's, see what they do.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that baseball game to come on Xbox. And other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I think the cat's been
date on that.
All right. What? Baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like when the season officially starts, or the game?
No, the game.
The game is the end of May. I forgot the date, but there's a date.
April 20th, it looks like.
Yeah, there is a date.
Okay. So yeah, that's not too far away.
Other than that, nah. I really have to say, I know you said you watched the Royal Rumble. You said it was pretty good.
Yeah. I watched the Royal Rumble, and last weekend was the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for WWE. Both were pretty good. It was I don't know if I would say surprising with WWE, but there wasn't a women's Elimination Chamber match this year. It was just 2 men's, one for Raw and one for SmackDown. The Raw one, Drew McIntyre defended the championship inside the cell, which he did, and then proceeded to get beat up by Bobby Lashley, who had apparently been paid off or made a deal with The Miz. And then The Miz cashed in. He had the Money in the Bank. So The Miz is the champion there. And then for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, it was 6 guys. And then whoever won the Elimination Chamber match was going to have a match with Roman Reigns later that night, because he was not going to compete in the Hell in a Cell, in the Elimination Chamber. He's like, I'm too good for that. So what happened there was Daniel Bryan ended up winning that match, and then Roman Reigns proceeded to come down immediately after and just basically pick the bones of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan did get a move off. He got him in the yes lock, which is like his submission finisher, kind of immediately reversed a spear into that. But Roman Reigns was able to power out. And after that, it was just basically, kill Daniel Bryan. So that was fun. There was also a women's tag team championship match, which was Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, who are kind of like rivals / teammates now, because Bianca Belair had won the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, and all signs point to her challenging Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for the championship. So they were teaming up against, it's like they always do unlikely bedfellows kind of thing. And they were teaming up against the current champions, who are Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. That was a decent enough match, but Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won that easily, which makes sense to continue that storyline. Asuka was originally supposed to defend the women's championship against Lacey Evans, but it was recently announced that Lacey Evans is pregnant in real life, which they fed into in the storyline, which had recently been her and Ric Flair kind of hanging out. Wink, wink, if you know what they're alluding to, Dominic. So,
whoa.
Yeah. It was gross.
Oh, wait a minute. Because it's gross because he's old, Daniel? Come on,
yes,
Daniel.
it's gross because he's old, Dominic. It is it's gross because he's died like 3 times.
It's unliberal thinking, Daniel, that why can't
sorry, Dominic, I'm
find...
ageist.
Oh, you're an ageist. Oh, my God. It's like I'm an ageist to a degree. Not so much as far as love, though, or lust, or whatever you want to say it is. But more ageist to that I just want them to go away, so I have to keep paying the Social Security.
There you go. Yeah. So that had kind of been the storyline that they were doing with Charlotte, is like her dad is hanging out with this new blonde, and that's weird. But yeah, so Lacey Evans wasn't able to compete. They didn't find anything new for Asuka to do because they don't really have much going on in the women's division, unfortunately, which is it's like Elimination Chamber was like hilariously juxtaposed with the Broken Skull sessions, which is basically the video form of Stone Cold's podcast, which in this episode he had Sasha Banks on, and it was all talking about, the women's revolution and her coming in and being incredible and like growing up and watching wrestling and enjoying it, but going like, I don't want to be one of those women that ends up in a bra and panties match. I want to actually wrestle. And then you have, the show where it's like, oh, you had like one women's match on there and you didn't really care about it. And right now you're like, the whole thing about bringing in the women's tag team titles was like a big deal. Apparently Sasha and Bayley had a lot to do with that because they wanted something for the women who weren't necessarily competing at the top of the card to do. And instead it's just been this kind of weird mishmash since they started them of, they did actually win them initially, and then they lost them at WrestleMania to the Iconics, which at the time seemed like a really bad thing for them because they wanted to make them prestigious and they wanted to do all this stuff. But at the same time, like, the Iconics are an actual tag team, and had been since NXT before there was ever really a women's tag team division. But the unfortunate thing with that is they've always been kind of a joke, and that, of course, is how they treated their tag, run, their tag title run. And ever since then, it's just kind of like this weird, just mismatch of singles competitors. And I guess that's kind of where you got to go because you never had a women's tag team division. So you kind of got to form one, but like, it was always things like, oh, the champion and whoever their rival is at the time, like somehow win the titles. And it's just kind of been on and off that way. And even like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler started out as like, oh, they don't get along, but we're going to put them in a tag match together. And oh, look, now they won the title and now they're the best of friends, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with wrestling. Oh, and I was telling you that kind of one of the biggest, like, tangentially related but not directly to the show is that Big Show Paul White is now officially signed with AEW. So another WCW original returning home, Dominic.
Oh man, that is that is something.
I mean, he's not a guy I want to see wrestle again, but it's cool to kind of see them get some of these guys on the team, you know?
Yeah. How's that? Have you ever watched the Big Show show?
Actually, I caught a little bit of that. So are we talking about the Big Show show as in his sitcom on Netflix, or are we talking about the Big Show show, which is like the competition show that's on TNT?
I'm talking about his sitcom.
No, I have not seen that.
Oh,
I've seen previews of it, and I went, that, like, I could
that's
see
what
myself.
I was talking about the first time, because you said TNT. I said, oh, I thought that was on Netflix, but I guess I was wrong. I was talking about the sitcom, because the Big Show, that's just...
I'm realizing that now, because I was like, he was never on there, but like, and I forgot about that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you would even call the Big Show a show. Like, why? That's a bad title for a show. But that's the one with Snoop Dogg and Cody Rhodes and Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, why did they call it? Yeah,
because they ran out of titles and it's TNT. But yeah, I could see myself actually enjoying the Big Show on Netflix. The Big Show. I don't know, whatever that's called.
See, that makes more sense to call that. I mean that's
absolutely
funny. Yeah.
They're going to get that pulled now, though. WWE's going to be like, don't support him anymore. This was our production.
That's all I wanted to know. Was it WWE production?
I'm pretty sure it was, because they also had like the Godfather and Rikishi show up in episodes, like Mark Henry, I think. So.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah. So I guess we're not getting that anymore.
No new season of the Big Show sitcom, unfortunately.
All right, so I guess we get into, man, I haven't watched anything. What we've been watching, but I did watch a couple WandaVisions. Okay. I'm 2 behind now. Gotcha. It's definitely interesting. Where are they going forward with this? Mm-hmm. I'm not speculating on anything. I'm just watching. Yeah. I'm just watching it. I'm not looking at people's forums to see like, oh, what they're going to do. I'm just not into that anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to watch what they put out, and whatever they put out, they put out. My friends talk about it a lot. I just listen to them and I just say, okay. And, I'm just not into the whole mystery of like what they're going to do with this universe. I know we got that Spider-Man news and everything. We got the title. What's the title?
That's right.
It's
Can't Go Home.
Home Alone. Home Alone. Oh,
Never Go Home, or
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Never Go Home. Yeah,
something about not being able to go home.
Yeah,
can't go home again.
So we staying with the home, theme. I guess that's just a thing they're going to be doing. I know people are speculating on that. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to wait and see. I don't care. Whatever. Let's see what they put out and hope I like it.
Yeah.
And hope it's good. Good for everybody. But mainly me. But mainly me. Did you watch anything? You won't have anything up here either.
Just the latest episode of WandaVision. That's been about it. It's hard to believe that there's only one more episode left. There's a lot to... I don't know. It just feels like there's going to be a lot of questions left at the end.
Oh, okay.
So...
I guess we get into what we're playing, so you can go ahead, man.
Yes, I've just been playing more Mario. Mostly it's just been cleanup stuff, just going back to the older levels. The couple in each world that I hadn't gotten, like the top of the flagpole or all of the stars or stamps in.
What do you get for the top of the flagpole?
It just changes the color of the flag outside of the world from red to gold or whatever color the character is that you're playing. I don't know if you actually get anything at the end, but it's just like kind of another completionist thing. And usually it's not like, I'm not usually going back out of my way to just get that one. It's usually in a level where I didn't get something else as well. So just kind of doing that stuff. I'm at the last world, I think. Well, like the last base world. I feel like there's probably like more I'm going to discover afterwards outside of the Bowser's Fury thing, because that's kind of how these Mario games have been recently. And I think like the star count I saw somewhere or something seems to like far exceed where I'm at. Well, maybe not far exceed, but be more than what I've got right now. So, yeah, just kind of doing that stuff. Still having a really good time with that. I really, really enjoy that game, and I'm really getting a much better feel for it, over these past couple of weeks of playing it. Still have a little trouble with some of the depth stuff sometimes, but as long as I focus more on like the shadow on the ground than I do on Mario, I can usually get myself sorted a little bit more. So, what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right, so I'm playing some more Trails. Still playing Trails and the Trails of Cold Steel, the first one. Played some more Hades. I beat the second boss. So now if you lose, though, you still got to start from the beginning. So you got to fight the bosses again. But, as you play on, you get stronger. So some of these bosses, they tend to get easier. All depends what type of power-ups you collect along the way. Because I was a little upset. Because I was like, I thought this was going to start me from level going to the second boss. I was like, I got to do this all over again. So you have to beat it all in one playthrough, which I'm thinking like, now I'm going in. Sometimes I'm just thinking like, I'm not going to beat it on this playthrough. I'm just going to try to collect things to get stronger. And then if I die, it's all right. And this I had to go through. Or eventually I'm going to get to a point when I just get tired and put cheats on and just say, I'm going to beat it this time.
There you go.
But anyway, no, this game is fun as hell. I went back to using the arrow. Well, I did get, cause I didn't get this yet. That's some trident, which is pretty cool because you can throw it and bring it back. So you get the back attack where you pull it back towards you. So it's kind of like
the Leviathan in God of War, or like Thor's hand kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Cool. And so, and also, you can just stab it with the regular attacks. Now I understand the casting. The casting is like where you shoot this diamond thing. And like I said, it looks like you had to defeat the enemy to collect it. Well, you don't really defeat it. I think like some enemies, because they're so hard that it takes a while to defeat them, they'll end up dropping it. They just hold on to it for a while. Then they drop it. You could go run and pick it up and throw it at them. And you can make that stronger too, like through power-ups and things of that nature. Like some power-ups they last, they're permanent, and some things are not permanent. They're just for that playthrough. So, yeah, because sometimes I get some great power-ups on a playthrough. Like I can, my strikes go like 3 strikes at a time. I used to love that. I wish I can get that again. That made things a whole lot easier for me. That's how I beat the Hydra, the second boss. But I do like the story. Like when you die, you can talk to people and you do things. You can also use gems to decorate the area, which does things too. Maybe like some story element, or I got something for my room, which tells me how many times I've transversed through hell and how many times how many enemies I've killed. I just have that in my room. So there's other things you can buy too, which I'm actually really want to collect those type of gems now. Like I'm looking for, I want to collect those gems because I want to do a lot of the story stuff in this game. Like I want to see all this stuff. Or like you get, like I said before, you get gifts. You can give gifts to people and it opens up some story elements also in your codex. But yeah, I think, did I meet a new god? Well, I think I met a couple new gods since I spoke about the game last time. Like so far, I met Artemis, Zeus, Poseidon. I met not Hades. Of course I met Hades, but I met Ares. What's the other one name? Athena. I believe I met Athena. Yeah, I think I met Athena. I met what's the goddess of love?
Aphrodite.
Yeah, Aphrodite. And I met the god of wine.
Forget what his name is, but he's like the overindulgent one, right?
Yeah. I met him. So I met Hermes also. So I met those gods so far. And I wonder if the gods are particular to weapons, because it seemed like I was seeing the god of wine and Aphrodite a lot more when I had the trident, more so than I had the bow. The bow, I was seeing Zeus. I don't know. It could be just random. Because each god has their own power-ups. Like they give you your own power-ups that you can use to your weapons, which I think is pretty cool. It really opens the game up to like really like how different everybody's playthrough is going to really be, or each of your own playthroughs are to the dungeons. And yeah, this game is awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun. I love just playing. Like it's good play. Like some games I can't play when I'm talking to people, but this is one of those games I can. I mean, there's a story, but at least you can read. Like there's voice acting, but you can. It's not. It'll pause. You can read it yourself. So but playing the game, it's like I can just play around and do stuff, and have something playing in the background and not be distracted. Unlike, like Trails in the Cold Steel, I'm trying to read all the time, basically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to focus. Also, I've been playing some more Halo because I've been helping my friend compete against the lawyer guy who I compete against usually for the achievements board. Now, my friend, he did play some games because he got some more points on his own when on his day off. I'm checking to see if he's still in the lead. Yes. Oh, well, he got a nice lead. He has 3,485 points. Bad Kermit has 3,045. Mm-hmm. So I helped him get a lot of those points because I beat 3 Halo games on Legendary.
Oh, man.
And I beat Reach through 2 on Legendary, and I just speed run through those shits.
Very nice.
And I'm holding off because I want to show my hand too much. I'm trying to see, do I even need to keep playing those games for him? So I'm checking because tomorrow's the last day, and that's the day I usually edit a podcast. So I'm really looking tonight to see what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to beat that lawyer.
What if this guy doesn't get paid in normal money? He just makes his clients play games for him so that he can beat people on the internet down.
That is weird. Oh, man. And my friend
told me hires like interns or something. He's like, oh, yeah, come to my law practice. And then it's like, here, play this game for me to get some gamer score. And he's like, wait a second, aren't I supposed to be learning about law? And you're like, no, just play the game.
Yeah. I'll get you some credit for it.
Exactly.
But my other friend said, what if this guy's just sharing what if he's not even doing trying to get these points? He just shares his account to his family or something. Yeah. He just shares to his he got brothers and sisters, and he just share with them, and they're just playing games. And
he doesn't even this guy that you think you're competing with doesn't even play games on there anymore.
Yeah. But I don't think so, man. Because he played. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention MLB. The show has a play test. I can't record it or nothing. Now I didn't say I can't talk about it. But it's just based off the Diamond Dynasty, so it's not what I usually play.
Right.
But the game looks the same. It looks the same to me. It was like some animations to change. I play a little bit of it because I'm just into Diamond Dynasty, and I was playing against the Orioles, but I wanted to beat the Orioles, but I was the Diamond Dynasty team, but it's all mixed different players and shit like that. Right. So there is a play test out there if you want to try it out. I mean, you have to ask to be invited, but it's not that hard to get invited because I just asked, can I be invited? And I got invited right then and there. So
nice. Okay.
Because I saw him playing it and I was like, hold up. So how did he
How's
get
he
this?
Getting access to this shit?
Yeah. So I looked up how to do it. And I said, okay, you ain't special. Anyway. I gotta beat him because he's my friends list too. That's why, because he was competing against him. So it was like, yes, I gotta help you beat him. We gotta take this son of a bitch down. Anyway, what else have I played? I also played some. Oh yes, Persona 5 Strikers. I got that on PC. I'm so glad it's on PC because if I want to use cheats, I can use cheats. I haven't used cheats yet though. I just played normal. I didn't know how much this game was just like Persona 5. Like, I knew that it was a Mushu game, so it's going to be like how the other Mushu games are, like Dynasty Warriors, and even like, you know, the Hyrule Calamity and the Fire Emblem Warriors, all that. But I think just like Hyrule Warriors, just like Fire Emblem, and just like Dragon Quest Warriors, they really make it feel like that original game, just with some Mushu element to it.
Right.
Because it really, like, the voice acting is the same. Dialogue, like you stuck to dialogue, you pick your dialogues and shit like that, like what you want to say. You can walk around town. Like, but so far, I look like I walked around town and go to shops and shit, just like in regular Persona 5. I was like, good God. They really make this like Persona 5. And just like when I went to the dungeons and things of that nature in the metaverse, they just make it that you're not going into some kind of turn-based battle. You're going to battle, and they have, just like how they do in Hyrule Warriors, like, oh, you can use those mechanics just like in, you know, Breath of the Wild. They have here where you can use mechanics just like in Persona 5, where you can choose your persona and then use their special, and you can do this. And it has all those elements to it. And I was like, man, this is a good game. And yeah, I see why I sold that game for like 8.5.
Oh, nice.
On it. Because I think they like the Persona elements more so than how like the Hyrule Warriors one is. While the Hyrule Warriors is, I think it's, I guess you can't do but so much. Like, it's not really an open world Zelda game, and then like, then a whole bunch of enemies come out. It's hard to do that than this, you know? Like, so, cause this feels so much like Persona 5, just with the Mushu element, that people probably can gravitate to this. Like Persona 5 fans could probably gravitate to this game more so than Zelda fans can gravitate to the Hyrule Warriors games. I will be playing this more. I'm probably not going to play it more now. I just wanted to try it out at first to see if I like it. And because I'm still playing Hades, so I'm kind of focusing on Hades and Trails of Cold Steel. And then I might be jumping into that game and focusing on that. What else I played? I played some demos here. So we got the System Shock demo that just came out. It's only on PC. And it looks like they haven't really optimized the controller. You can still use a controller, though. But when you come in contact with something, it brings up the key binding keys for the keyboard. It doesn't bring out the keys for the controller. So it's like, oh, man, it's like that. And then it's like, it's pretty slow, you know, because like mouse controls get selecting things, because you got to scroll over stuff. And it's like, you don't have it made just to select things like a normal game with the controller. So now that sucks. I just got to a part where I finally saw like some type of zombie looking monster that oh my God, looked ugly and creepy. I kept banging it with my pipe I had, and I had a gun, but I had that many bullets. It has some puzzle aspects to the game. That does remind me of BioShock, but I didn't really get that far in the game because I just didn't like the controls. I was hoping like, hey, maybe you play it because you're easy. You seem to be easier with the keyboard, using the keyboard, than I am. So, because it seems like if you like BioShock, it might be up your alley. It look interesting, but I didn't play enough to really judge it. But yeah, it's out there. System Shock demo. So
yeah, it looks like it's on Steam to download.
Yeah. I think it's on Epic Store also.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think so.
Let's see.
I thought it was just a piece, like PC overall. So I think it was on both storefronts.
Get on GOG.
I don't know if it's on GOG, but I did download it on Steam. Outriders. Oh, maybe I'm talking about, maybe it's Outriders I'm getting confused. So maybe both. But Outriders demo is out on everything, I believe. I think it's out on everything. Outriders is that co-op game made by the People Can Fly, published by Square Enix.
Yeah, the demo for System Shock is also on Epic Store.
Okay, good. So, now, I was thinking, because I really didn't pay attention too much to Outriders. I just remember the name, and I remember People Can Fly can make it. But I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking like just a co-op game, kind of like action game, like Gears.
Yeah.
And it is to an extent, but it's more like Destiny, I think. It's like a Destiny, somewhat of a Destiny clone. Now I'm The prologue is pretty long, and it's like it's got single player elements to this game, kind of like how Destiny 2 did, and it's pretty long. And I do like it because I understand the story. Like, it's not great, but I understand what's going on, what's happening. Now the story is this: like Earth, is destroying. It's basically destroyed itself, like because of war and all famine and all that stuff happened. So there was 2 ships that left to colonize the new world. So people are in hypersleep, and the ships fly by, automatic systems, and they go into these worlds to check them out to see if they can colonize them. One ship apparently did not make it. Problems happen. So only one ship did make it. And before they sent down for colonists to come down, they send down these guys called Outriders and some other people just to survey the planet. So you're one of those guys, and of course, things go wrong. And like, oh, we can't be in this planet. But one of the corporate people like, no, man, we can't afford it. We can't afford to find somewhere else. We just got to work it out. And because we got contaminated by some black blob and say, y'all just got contaminated. So, okay, because like, we're just going to contain you guys and everybody else be safe. And then it's like, burn them, like basically kill us. So we defended ourselves. I killed them, and I tried to stop from the colonists from coming down. But then I got hurt, and I had to be put in this cryo, because she said, I'll put you in cryo until we can figure out how to save you. And I got contaminated with something too, but I didn't disappear like some people did. And then I woke up. It's been 30 years later. So now I woke up to this post-apocalyptic new world. What's funny, it's post-apocalyptic. It's only been 30 years, but shit hit the fan for these 30 years. Yeah. Like, it's factions and stuff. Then I see the woman who helped me. Like, she's older now. And the other guy who was my friend, they're older. But I'm still look the same. And I'm like asking what happened. And they said, the college came down. But basically people we don't have that much resources. So we're back at it just like on Earth and shit like that. And it sucks. So now that's how it really starts off. But you do some fighting stuff before then. The game is just like Gears, a cover system. You can shoot above cover and everything. You can, hop over cover, kind of like Gears or The Division. And I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And it's not complicated like The Division though. Like, I like how less complicated it is and stuff, like, but I don't like with the inventory. The inventory system, I think, is more like Destiny than Division. And I do like Destiny's inventory system better than Division's. Always did, because the Divisions was just seemed like it was too much of a mess.
Yeah,
trying to figure out
many moving pieces.
Yeah, but it's still just like Destiny with you scrolling over stuff. With I'm like, yo, if I'm using a controller, can you just make it select? Yeah, it's just like oh man, Square Enix, I just made another. This is your other Destiny stuff, just like the Marvel's Avengers game, huh? It's like this is your other games of service game. Cause you got weapons that's like, oh, but this weapon's level 1. Cause I didn't know. I thought this was like just a co-op game until I was shooting a creature. I was like, oh, why does it say level 1 on top of them? It's like, oh man, this is a Destiny thing. So I don't know how people are reviewing this game or their playtime with this. I think it's fine. Like, it's fine for what it is, but I just prefer not to be a game of service. Cause then when I get to the part where it's like a hub, it's like, oh yeah, you can play with co-op with people. You got quests and things of that nature. I mean, I'm fine with that. Maybe could be a better version. Maybe this is not totally like Destiny, but I don't know. I didn't see, like, in the hub world, because maybe this is just a demo, I didn't see like a whole bunch of characters walking around. I didn't notice that. I mean, I'm going to play some more again, but I didn't notice, like, how in Destiny in the hub worlds, you see a whole bunch of characters dancing and doing shit. I didn't notice that. So maybe it's not like that. Or like how Marvel's Avengers is like that. It's like in their hub worlds, you don't see a bunch of people walking around either. So maybe they just don't do that here, but you just gotta, team up with them. But you know what? In Anthem, I'm trying to think in Anthem. Did you see that? I don't think I did.
Well, not in what we had played, I don't remember, but I feel like weren't they supposed to be adding that later
Oh yeah, that's right. They remember that? Yeah, because people were complaining about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a fine game. I think you should try it though, Dan. I mean, because it's on NVIDIA. It's on the NVIDIA Geo Stream. You can just
so I don't even
play
need to download anything. I can just boot it right up. That's nice.
Yeah, that's what I did. Now, first I play on Xbox. Man, it runs bad on the Xbox, man.
Yeah,
like this game runs bad.
Yeah,
like I tried playing it. I even recorded some of it, which I might delete it because I recorded my NVIDIA playtime. So I was like, yeah, I might just use this. But
do a split screen. Here you go. That's how bad it is.
But like the look of it, like you see the hair and stuff is like, oh man, this is stuff. And then even like the frame rate is even bad. It's not even consistent 30. While I think playing through NVIDIA is at least close to 60, or at least it feels more than 30. I put it like that. Yeah, man, I was like, man, this is not really running well. And the load times are long and like things pop-ups and stuff. I was like, darn, this is not optimized very well for the Xbox. And it doesn't look that graphically, demanding. That's the thing. It doesn't look like a graphically demanding game. I mean, it's kind of how the Avengers are, like how that game looks on the base Xbox. It's like, come on, man, I could have done a better job on this fucking game. I could have. But playing on NVIDIA, it runs really smooth. Like, it's just totally different.
It's here, really, Dominic, and it's
not a lot of slowdown. It's not a lot of slowdown or anything. So I was like, oh yeah, I prefer to play at this. Now I did come to like maybe I forgot how long I played, but it did froze on me. But NVIDIA did let me pop right back in, so they didn't take my time away.
Okay, nice.
So I was happy with that. But yeah, the game it's a fine game, but it's probably not what I really wanted. I really just want a new type of Gears, basically, like an action game. That's not a game of service where I have to keep picking up weapons and seeing what level these are. Like, oh, this is the right level weapon. Now the power, now you get to a point where, because you got affected, you get powers, and you get to choose who you want to be, like Technomancer and all that stuff. I chose something that's kind of close quarters, like a knight something, like my melee and stuff is pretty strong in close quarters. So I got a power where it's like I zap the enemy and they're like disintegrating. And I think if I shoot them, the health bar goes down a lot faster.
Interesting.
And then I got a power where I put it looked like a force field, but it's not really a force field because it doesn't stop the bullets, but it slows them down. You can actually see the bullets coming through slowly. It looks cool. So, yeah, I mean, and everything seems very intuitive. Like, it's easy to control because I guess people can fly. I mean, they worked on some games that did Bulletstorm and that was fun. So, and it did, I mean, Gears, Judgment, I mean, it was a bad game, but it wasn't like to a point where, cause it was hard to control, just what they chose. It was like more what they chose it to be. Not that I can still pick up and play it, I can still play it. It's just that I didn't like it as much as Gears. And this, I mean, it feels good. Like it feels fine for a third person. And it's a third person. I know you like third person, you prefer that more. So you say you prefer Destiny to be third person more so than first person. Well, some people feel the opposite because some people were saying about this. Like, I think I read like the Forbes guy say he preferred it to be first person. Well, I'm okay with being third person. I mean, for me, it don't matter, but it was all right being third person. But yeah, I think it's all right what I played so far. I'm curious how it'll go because of the space we got. Like, Destiny is the only game really going on here. Like, where would this game fall? I mean, hell, Marvel's Avengers, the title, then it has the branding of Marvel, and that game is not going so well. So I wonder how a game called Outriders, that seems very basic, the basic title, how this game
have
turned
much
out.
cachet behind it. I don't think people are going to buy it just because people can fly made it, even though they seem like pretty good developer.
Yeah, that's why it's like, whoa, how's this game going to get popular? Yeah. So, that's all I played. So I guess we'll take a quick break. And when we get back, get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And there we're flashback into 2011. And this is the last flashback segment of the month until we get to a new month, Dan. Till we end March. the odds of March, which I think is the 15th. So what we got here? Oh yes, this is the big month. 10 years ago, Daniel, the Nintendo 3DS was released in Japan.
It's crazy.
The last, well, actually not the last, but the last true Nintendo handheld. Yeah, because
now we got a better one.
Well, no, the last, we do got a better one. I mean, people, I guess you want to count the new 3DS as its own thing, but I guess it kind of is. But I mean, this is the start of the 3DS. This was the height of the 3D stuff. I mean, this is where we're at.
It was.
Everything was 3D. Movies
PlayStation games were getting 3D movies.
This is 2 years after Avatar was in theaters. So 3D was at maybe its height around this time, man. Yeah. And then I remember I had this guy who we worked at Target with. I mean, he was on day shift, but I remember him telling me how 3D's the future, man. Like, we're going to do everything in 3D. The billboard's going to be in 3D and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, man. So, we'll see what happens. And, 3D, it fell off, man. I mean, you got your 3D TV, man. You've been holding on to that thing. That thing's been lasting. It does its job.
Yeah. Haven't used the 3D in a long time now.
yeah.
Very long time.
But yeah, man, I mean, this is what everybody's talking about. And this was cool. This was 3D without the glasses, 3D without, I was so jealous of the people who got to be at E3 to first see this thing. I was like, oh, you bastards. I want to know what this is. What does this look like? My brain can't process this shit. That's I don't understand 3D without glasses. That doesn't make sense to me. And then we finally got on Target. We finally got that kiosk. And I got to see it. And I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it did.
It was a nice little novelty. I mean, I enjoyed it. There were some games that were made very well using that aspect, like Mario 3D Land. It did really well with the 3D.
Absolutely.
I can't think of any of the other games now because I didn't play a lot of games 3D, but I don't remember them. But there was other games. There were other games that were done very well in 3D. Maybe the Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm not sure.
It looked all right, but it was, it wasn't in the same way that 3D
Time or Majora's Mask. I forget.
They did both, I think, right?
I thought was Ocarina of Time on DS? That was a 3DS. That was a 3DS Ocarina of Time?
It was a 3D. Yeah, it was a 3DS.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think they were both on there.
They were both on there. Yeah. Okay. So cool. So you have, so they done some good things, but then it went away. It went away quickly that people would just turn the 3D sliders off. Well, some games didn't even do it. Even some Nintendo games, I was like, hey, this doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. It's I guess it's hey, it's over, man. Nobody cares about this shit. Yeah,
because it was literally the frame rate would dip if you had 3D on in some games. So it's it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And it was disappointing because Pokemon, the first Pokemon game to be played, when the 3DS was out, was a black and white 2, I think. And I was
yeah, that sounds right.
That's just basic DS. It was we ain't doing it yet. We ain't going the full 3D route yet. It was just some years later till they did. And I think I heard that wasn't even really great with the 3D. It wasn't nothing special with it. But at the time, yes, this was awesome. This was really cool to see that, and people have a console. Have a handheld game to do this. It's yeah, this is great. What else we got that came out 10 years? So we got. I might as well go to some of the DS games that came out in Japan for this. So some of the 3DS games that came out, we got here. I made a mistake because I put them into the 2001 era box here, Dan.
Oh, no.
My fault. Now I have to look at this. Okay, so we had the 10 Dogs plus Cats came out in Japan. The French Bulldog and Friends. Then he had the 10 Dogs and Cats, the Golden Retriever and New Friends. They had the 10 Dogs plus Cats, the Toy Poodle and New Friends. So you had those, the 10 Dog games came out. They had Professor Lick.
Prime, oh no, Nintendo's learned from Pokemon. We should release all the versions.
Exactly. It's why? why is it that you had to have each kind of Pacific dog and different dogs or cats in each one? Well, I guess we're just lucky that they included cats too with the 10 dogs, because they really.
Yes.
I think the 10 cats was separate, right? When it first came out on the DS, was that separate?
I don't remember if they ever did it in 10 cats or not. I think this was the first one
was
where they added
okay.
the
So because the Ubisoft did the cats one, right?
they had the cats with like a Z, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what it did. So Professor Layton and a Miracle Mask came out in Japan for the 3DS. You had Ridge Racer 3D. Oh, Ridge Racer, they were keeping the tradition coming out with the launch of consoles, man. They stopped though, man. They stopped. It's a shame.
This killed it, Dominic.
Yeah. Bust the Move Universe on the 3DS. You had Combat of Dinosaurs 3D on the 3DS. What does this game look like?
I think that's the one that we sold a lot of at Target.
That was the cheap one. That'd be on the end cap. I'm not the end cap, but it was cheap though, right?
Yeah. I don't think it was this one. I thought that cover was like orange and it had two dinosaurs like face to face.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, the one I thought about it looked crappy.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be. I mean, I'm not looking at it.
This one also sort of looks crappy.
Oh, okay. So I guess the Street Fighter came at launch over here in America. Like I think it was March. I think we get 3DS in March or April. I think it was March. Maybe next month. Maybe next month. I don't know. I don't remember. But I guess they didn't get it at launch. No,
you got it up here. Street Fighter 4.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah.
That one just got up in the right section.
Oh, the right section. Okay. So, yeah, Street Fighter 4 launched in Japan. Yes, and that's the one I remember seeing a lot, like this game. And I played that game in GameStop, I believe. Yeah, I played it. The 3D, I don't remember 3D being that great for it.
Yeah, I don't remember people talking about it like it was very good in that game. I also want to say that was one of the games where like it hurt frame rate quite a bit.
All right, so let's get into some other games that was released. You had The Blob 2 came out for everything. The Nintendo original DS, the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii.
That game continues to live on.
Yeah, it really does. This is going to be the Blob Enhanced Edition for these new consoles, man. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Bulletstorm was released. Look, oh man, People Can Fly. It's going to have Outriders released 10 years after Bulletstorm. So this was released on Windows 360 and PS3. Bulletstorm, yeah, that was a great game. It reminded me of like a Gears, it was published by Epic, right? I mean, I think it was.
I think it was.
And so, yeah, because Cliffy B even talking about this game. And this game is fun, man. I love the arcadiness of it and the zaniness of it, like kicking people into spikes or like a piranha plant or something like that. Days of Thunder was on the PlayStation Network. I guess it was a Days of Thunder game. You play as Tom Cruise, and you got to get past that Snickers car. I don't know. That's what I remember. Days of Thunder is that Snickers car, and I remember seeing it also. And the Days of Thunder ride, I used to be at Paramount Kings of Men. Kings of Men used to be Paramount. I remember I rode that ride like a billion times, man. I just love that. So, yeah, we're going to win this race. But I guess they got a PlayStation game. I don't know how this game was rated. I'm going to assume it was sucked. Daniel. I mean.
Yeah, probably not great.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up. Days of Thunder. Oh, there was a Game Boy game and a Nintendo game of Days of Thunder. Here we go, 2011 game.
Interesting.
And look, it says NASCAR edition.
Oh, really?
Oh, so they got some real
the
cars
official
in here.
license there.
Tom Cruise is playing against like Jeff Stewart or I might have said the wrong name. I don't know. I know Stewart is in there. There's a Jeff
Junior, maybe.
Yeah. It said reception is a 60% on PS3. It came on 360 also, but they got 25%. Why it get worse? On game rankings. I don't know.
Not as good, Dominic.
All right, what else we got here? We got
not as good.
Oh, Giannis Sisters. is on the DS.
The fake Mario.
Yeah. You also got
Gray Matter. I know about that thing.
You also got Gray Matter. That sounds familiar. That came out on the 360 and what was that, PC as well? Was that PC?
I thought that Windows, sounded familiar, but this is not what I thought it was going to be at all. I was thinking like that strategy game or something like that.
Gray Matter game.
This is apparently a point-and-click adventure.
Surely is. I have no idea what this is. But it got 9 out of 10 on Steam, 72 on Metacritic, so it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. There you go, Dominic. Point-and-click adventure game. Check that out.
Killzone 3 was the big release for PS3. The third Killzone in the series. The second to last one. This is the one before Shadow Complex. That's what it was called. Shadow Complex?
Shadowfall.
Oh, Shadowfall. Okay. There is a game called Shadow Complex. That's the
epic one.
Metroidvania. Yes. They wanted to use Shadow Complex, Daniel, but they couldn't.
It's a better name.
Yeah. But Killzone 3, I wonder how this actually got rated. I mean, I know it wasn't get bad rating, but like, what was this? This was an 84
like
Metacritic.
High 70s, 80s. Okay.
Yeah, 84 Metacritic. Yeah, GameStop gave it a 4.4 out of 5. I wonder why they put GameStop ratings up here. I wonder why is that?
Because you're getting bought off.
What else we got here? We got Knight's Contract on 360 and PS3. This sounds like a boring game. I'm gonna see what we got here. Knight's Contract. Oh, wait a minute. It's not what I thought it was. But it's a bad game. 51%. Bandai made this. Was it Bandai Namco? Yeah, at the time? Yeah, they got it, Namco Bandai. Yeah, it didn't get good ratings. It is a action adventure video game. You setting the Knight Contract is a fictional Europe during Middle Ages with dark fantasy characters, including witchcraft and blah, 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 blah. All right. So what else we got here? We also got Radiant Historia, which I think is this a sequel or a prequel, or part of the Radiant Heroes? I think it is. Let me see. Because I had that game on PlayStation 2. And I felt like this was like part of that same universe. Radiant Historia is a role-play game by Atlas Nintendo. It was released in Japan, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Let me see. But this is published by Atlas. The Radiata Story. Yes, that was the stories. That was published by Square Enix. Okay. So, yeah, I had that game. So it is part of that same universe. This game it's an RPG. And it looks like a nice, simple RPG. And it got a rating of 85 out of 100 on 3DS. On 3DS and DS. I don't know what's... It came on 3DS later, though. It came in 3DS. This is weird. Like, Google has it as November... Okay, it came out actually last year on the DS for Japan. And it came out February 22nd. Okay, no. Okay, we got it. I understand now. Okay, the DS version, of course, it came to Japan first, but it came out this week for North America, 22nd. It came on a 3DS years later, like 2017.
That seems way too long.
Yeah, it came on 3DS.
Is the 3DS really still really relevant at that time?
Damn, that is long. But it says right here, Japan, 2017. Yeah. And North America, 2018.
When did the Switch come out? 2019?
Nah, I think the Switch came in 2018, right?
Goodness gracious. So this was like a late model 3DS.
2017 or 2018, I forget. But February 13th was North America 2018 is when it came out. So yeah, man, damn. It came out a long time. And I think I remember hearing that game then. I remember saying, oh, Radiant Historia is coming out. And it's come the DS version. And they got a 3DS, which I think at that time when 3DS stuff wasn't really 3D. So it's probably the same fucking game. I wonder what's the difference between that title and expanded. Okay, it has an expansion too. It's an expanded remake of the Nintendo 3DS title, Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. It was released in 2017 in Japan, released in North America the following year with the European version published. Yeah, it has some changes to that.
I bet you this is one of those games they showed off in the Nintendo Directs, and it's like, why are we still talking about 3DS games? We have the Nintendo Switch out now. Why isn't this a Switch game?
Yeah, why is this a Switch game? Exactly.
There was a lot of those.
All right. You also have, I'm going to skip this one. I don't know what it is. Men of War Assault Squad. I probably should skip that one too. Let's go see.
It's worth talking about. Most generic title.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a real-time tactics strategy game set in World War II, according to Wikipedia.
What did they rate it? Was it good?
77 out of 100 on Critic with three reviews, Dominic.
Oh, but shit! I mean, it's they got part 2, and that got like a 9 out of 10.
I don't think that's what that means.
They got 9 out of 10
that's the
on
reference number.
Whatever. I mean, hey, it
with
lasts
109 reviews. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh,
21 critic reviews.
Also, last but not least, you got the Dreamcast Collection was released on the 360 10 years ago. This game, I know it had Sonic, the Sonic game.
Crazy Taxi?
Crazy Taxi was up there. I'm trying to bring it up.
I feel like you gotta have Sonic, Crazy Taxi, Jet Grind, one of those, and Shenmue.
You got fishing. I think it's fishing up there too. Some bass fishing.
Oh, really? Okay. I could see that being the thing.
I saw Knights up there too.
Yeah, I guess Knights.
But wait a minute. I don't know. That's the Steam collection. Like, this is just a cover. Gotcha. But it's probably more games than on the cover. Space Channel 5. Part 2.
Yeah, that's a good one. Michael Jackson's still intact.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool that they had a Dreamcast collection. No, that's cool for people who are really fans of it.
Because the Xbox 360 was the successor to the Dreamcast, basically.
Yeah.
In all ways but failure.
They should have had the what was the game? The where's the sailors? Like the sailor, you know where the sailors are.
Should have Shenmue in there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Defining Dreamcast game.
All right, now we're going 20 years to 2001. We got Triple Play Baseball came out, Daniel. This is when they took out the year because they were like, we were trying to go just be like Madden, where it's like a year ahead, and basketball was like a year ahead when it's originally released. But see, it made sense for them because the championship and the playoffs for football is the next year. Right. And basketball, a lot of the season is the next year. When it starts. Baseball, it's the same year. It doesn't go into the next year. But they felt like, oh no, marketing. It won't look right if we put down 2000 when it's 2001. But I mean 2000 and everything else is 2001. So, but I think they finally said we're going to stop it. How are we going to fix this? We're just going to call the next game no year. Call it just Triple Play Baseball, and that's it. And it was released on the PlayStation. And I don't think this version got rated very well. I know Giambi was on the front. Jason Giambi. Great player until we find out, he was taking a lot of the the stuff. He was doing the stuff, man. I don't know, steroids or whatever stuff he was using, enhancing drugs. But yeah, I remember this. I remember this because of the year being gone, and then they finally started to just do it the year it comes out, and where it made sense. Because I guess some people were complaining, like, "Hey, this ain't the future game. This ain't the next year game." It's like, hey, I thought it was like, hey, it's 2000. Why I'm getting like, why it's called 2001 or something? Or I guess you would say, like, why is it 1998 when it's 1997? Right. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, this is when they're still using the triple play moniker too, also, because they changed it to MVP eventually. EA. All right, what else we got here? We got Record of Lodos or Lodos. I don't know. Some on Dreamcast. I'm going to say it wasn't that good game, or it was a great game that nobody played. It was one or the other.
Hidden gem, Dominic.
Yeah. Let's just see what kind of game this is. It is. Wait a minute. They have a new one out that came out
What?
March 12th, 2020 on Steam.
What?
But let me put Dreamcast up here. So, hey, maybe it is one of those hidden gems. Oh, it got 76 on Metacritic. So it's not a horrible game. It's just a game we never heard of. It is based on an anime of the same name. It's an action role-playing game developed by Neverland. It says gameplay at each experience level, the player character's hit point capacity increases. Okay, that sounds normal. However, other character statistics are based on the blacksmith's cash-in investment system. The hero cash-in investment system. The hero gathers mithril and plaques for the blacksmith. When the player supplies him with the plaque with the requisite amount of mithril, the blacksmith enhances the hero's weapon or armor. Good God, man, I don't like this.
That sounds very complicated.
Yeah, it's like, why are you explaining this? What's the plot of the game? The plot of the game is in one sentence on Metacritic. On Wikipedia here. It's the game follows the adventures of a hero who has been resurrected by a wizard Wart to defeat Cardis. Something transliterated as Cardis of Cardis. What? Or Cardis, whatever. The dark goddess of destruction. That's it. All right. So, hey, it got rated pretty good. So, that's all right. EGM gave it an 8.17 out of 10.
That new one looks pretty nice.
Game Informer gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Look at that. Wow. I could have just dismissed this game and just went on without realizing that this game deserved its due. And the new one,
exactly.
It's a new one, a side scroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a Symphony of the Night kind of thing.
Oh, they went a different way with it.
It's in early access on Steam for $12.99. But it also looks to possibly be only in Japanese, so I don't know about that.
But yeah, I don't know. Okay, hidden gem. We found a hidden gem here. All right, another hidden gem. The Powerpuff Girls Battle Hymn for the Game Boy Color.
Hell yeah.
And Hymn was that devil that looks very feminine.
Yes.
And yeah, I was very confused by that. I was like, is that a her? Or him, but it says name is him, but it could be a her. That name is him. I don't know.
You don't know. They don't want you to know.
Midway Games Incorporated. Midway Games signs a distribution agreement with Koei Net. They're called Koei Net at the time. There wasn't Koei Tecmo. I believe Tecmo was still its own company. Of which Koei will become the exclusive distributor of selected Midway home video game products in the Far East, including Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and India. So yeah, so I'm learning, like, because of that Hong Kong thing that happened just 2 years ago, last year, and so I'm really learning, like, yeah, Hong Kong's like really, it's like part of China but separate. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing with that. I mean, it's only weird because I don't understand it. But that's the truth. And that's
it's complicated.
Yeah. But yeah, so Koei was doing. I wonder if they are still doing that. But Midway's probably not even making games anymore, right? so maybe not. I mean, Midway. Wait a minute, what are they doing? They just name out there. Are they not even making anything?
Yeah, are they like a holdings company now that just has licenses for things?
That's probably
they're like Atari like that now.
Yeah. All right, let's we're going to go to 15 years ago, 1996. A big release was released in the Street Fighter universe. Street Fighter Alpha 2 was first released ever, starting in Japan in the arcade. And it became, I think months later, it came out like in other places, other locations. Mm-hmm. Then we'll go to 30 years ago. 30 years ago today, Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones, was released on Nintendo in Japan. This is the first ever release of it. Also, King of Monsters was first released in Japan in the arcades. This was the SNK game where you were like big monsters and I think you fight each other in cities and stuff. I remember that game, seeing that game in the arcade. Mm. It was pretty fun. And that is it for the flashback segment. That's the end of the month of February. So then we're going to move on to March next week. But now we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we get into the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. Let's get into the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, we're going to kick it off with our less fun news. The first story we got up today is that Reset Era has decided that it is going to ban posts about Hogwarts Legacy for a couple of reasons. One, what they feel are bigoted comments by J.K. Rowling in regards to the trans community. And now there's some information coming out about one of the lead designers, Troy Levitt. Apparently he previously hosted a YouTube channel that consisted of some far-right views that obviously are in question in recent years, in some cases, in many years. So yeah, basically there's been a consensus there saying, hey, we're not going to do marketing for them. Basically, there are still some instances where they will allow discussion about the game, but they are not going to go in the direction of posting trailers and things of that nature, because of this stuff. And as a company that's running a forum of their own, obviously they can make this choice. We've had this discussion, and I think one of the comments we saw on the article on Polygon seemed kind of fitting, that basically like people that want to enjoy the games and also don't want to confront the bigoted views of these people are kind of trying to get their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're like, okay, I don't want to support J.K. Rowling anymore. I'm not going to. I'm not going to play games where she's going to get money off of them. I'm not going to read books that, she's making money off of. And absolutely, I support that decision. But at the same time, it's like, oh, but I really like Harry Potter, but I don't like how she's talking nowadays. And when she wrote these books, she didn't really talk like that. And it's, it's messy, because you and I were talking about this before we started recording. Really, you can kind of find that stuff with anything, right? So there's a certain point where you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. And in some cases, people are choosing here, I'm going to stand against the transphobia that J.K. Rowling is seemingly espousing, and as well as some of these, far right beliefs that the lead designer of the game is also. I mean, this is getting really complicated for this game, because first the J.K. Rowling stuff, but now we're also seeing this as well. And it's like, at what point, and I think this is where Reset Era is coming from, what point are there like enough people there? Because you kind of want to say, right, is like, okay, the J.K. Rowling stuff is one thing, but also there are a ton of people working on this game that need jobs, and I'm supporting them by buying this game, as opposed to not buying it specifically because of this one person might make some money off of it. And it gets complicated there. But then it's like, oh, well, there's this person, and then maybe there's another person, and it gets messy.
Yeah, it does. It's just that you just got to be true to yourself. Like, I feel like if you feel strongly about what J.K. Rowling said, as in like you strongly disagree, like it really offends you so much. Like if it offends me, like it offends some of these people, I wouldn't do anything in part of that universe. I mean, yeah, you can say like, well, there's other people who don't feel that way, but I'll just be like, well, sorry, I just go stand to my convictions. I just can't support her. And it's not me. And because it's all just entertainment. So it's not, I can't say, oh, I'm hurting them. No, me not buy it. I'm not really hurting. I'm just choosing not to buy it. They might not even need my sales. I mean, I can choose not to buy something. There's a lot of things I don't buy, You know, it's like I don't feel like it's just something I just won't partake into that space. I can make it like I don't. It's like you can't. They can't blame me if I don't buy the game. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they lost because I didn't buy the game. You can't do that on somebody. You can't make it because, like, hey, I don't like this person, so I didn't buy the game. You can't. And if the game does poorly, you can't blame a person for that. You know, it's like, come on, that's not fair. So like, there's some things I don't partake in because I don't like someone. Or like I have a reason to like I just don't like them, but I have a reason, like I don't like something they said,
right,
or like something they did. There's some things I don't,
certain stance they have.
Yeah, I don't partake in what they do, but that's what I do. I don't say. I mean, I will like some things. I will like say, hey, if you take this person away, but you know what? If they don't, then it's like, oh well, I just won't look at it. I'm not going to stress myself out on it though either. That's just me. I'm not going to be like, oh, because I love these Harry Potter books before. So I want to protect in this universe, but this person's still making money. Well, you got to stand strong. Like how strong do you feel about what this person said? You don't mess with the media. I mean, don't partake in that media then. But if you can't, you can't. I mean, if you feel like you need to still play the Harry Potter games or watch the movies, but you feel, I mean, then you didn't feel that strongly about it. I mean, you feel like you want them gone, but you don't feel really that strongly to not watch it. I mean,
yeah.
Oh well. I mean, I don't know. It's like for me, the situation, it does really nothing for me. Like, to say what she said was transphobic, maybe some of the things I have to look at again. To be honest with you, Dan, I have to look at that stuff again to really see the little bit that I have seen. I didn't have problems with. Like, I somewhat disagree. I don't disagree with her, but it wasn't like, she's a hateful person. I didn't get that, but there could be some things that she said, but I haven't gone to the rabbit hole because it's just not a rabbit hole I really care to go through. It's not a big deal. The Harry Potter universe is not a big deal to me anyway, though. Like, that's not really a big thing. I mean, I enjoy some of the things I have read, some of the movies. I was interested in this game. I'm still somewhat interested. But if for some reason this game got canceled, it won't be a big deal to me. Right. But I'll feel bad for the people who did work on it. I would definitely feel bad for them. But overall, take it out of the equation, it wouldn't be a big deal to me. It's, oh well, I just have to worry about some other game. It's not like I'm really holding my breath for this or anything. I mean, I'm curious what this game is, but I'm not invested into this universe like some people are. So maybe some people is really turmoil to them. See, where it's really not for me. I can't really relate to that. Like, I can relate to something like that if I was younger. Like, The Simpsons would be something. If Simpsons had done something racist when I was young, then I would be like, well, some people consider the Apu thing, which I don't, but whatever. Like, I'm over The Simpsons now. Like, they haven't been good shows to me in years, so it's not a big deal to me that much. Like, them take away the Michael Jackson episode. I don't like that I can't watch it streaming. But it's not that huge a deal because I can easily download it, or I got the DVD. So it's not that big a deal to me. I'll always watch it. And I always have those memories of it. I always have the memories of it as one of my favorite episodes. So it's not a huge deal like that anymore. So it's not, and even though Simpsons is continuing, I'm not really watching them anymore. I don't have anything that I'm continuing to do, like, that it was gone. I'll be so, like, or somebody says something bad about that, I can let go. Like, anything I watch now, somebody says something racist, I can easily let go. Like,
exactly.
I'm not a big fan of anything anymore like that. I mean, it's just part of me being older too. Like, the way how I'm not, the fandom of me on things has waned. I'm not a big fan of certain things anymore like I was when I'm in my younger years. Now I'm just, I just intake stuff whenever they come. I'll just take it in. So, I mean, it's just how you be true to yourself. I mean, that's all. Just like, I mean, it's still, look, I mean, it's easy for me to say, because like the reason I just said, but just, I mean, you feel really strongly about it. Don't partake in that media then. And it's fine. That's fine. Like, nobody should force you to partake in some entertainment. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Who cares?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I do feel bad for some people who may be a fan in the way that I'm with you. Like, I just don't have that thing anymore that was into Harry Potter in that way, and maybe in a way that has been taken away from them. 'Cause I could sit here and say, yeah, I'm not going to buy the game because of what she said, but also there's a good chance that I may just not have bought this game or played this game anyway. What with the number of games coming out and, time situations, like it could very well be that. It's not that I'm necessarily opposed to this game, whether I'm opposed to her stances or not, but it's an easy thing for me to say, like, oh yeah, I'm opposed to this stance and not play this game, because I just might never play the game anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the stance is, like I said, I have to look at some other comments to, like, for me, the stance for me to be fully against it had to be like, I don't like transsexuals. Like, she said something like that.
I think the biggest problem that people have with her nowadays is there's like a constant double down from her. And I don't think it's ever been as blatant as I don't like trans people, but there's a lot of subtext to what she says. And every time she responds to something, it's basically a little more shade, a little more shade, a little more shade, almost to the point where it wouldn't be surprising if she did just come out and say, like, look, like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, whatever, fuck you guys.
I mean, maybe it is. Like I said, this is a rabbit hole I just had an interest in going down. I mean, it's like, because for me, it's not really a big deal. Like, I could just ignore her. Like, I'm not really partaking in that universe much anyway, so that's why I don't. Now, if there was something I was interested in, I would probably look more into it. If that was like really interested in this Harry Potter stuff,
there's a level of relevancy for you that it just isn't there, so it makes sense that it's not something that you
like. If it was probably like, what would I say? If something in football, like if owner or something said a lot of things that people say, oh, he's saying some transphobic stuff, I will look deeply into, like, oh shit, what the fuck he say? Into this, because I watched this, or like I'll look at this team or something. Yeah,
right.
Should I be on board with this? Should I be following this? Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's nothing about. It's not the reason. Is not the transsexual thing. It's mostly the content. Is just don't really want to delve into that universe kind of thing, like the Harry Potter universe. I'm just a person who, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I don't dislike it. I just not that guy. Yeah.
I get you.
All right. So what else we got, man?
All right, Dominic. So in some other not so great news, Sony Japan Studios is scaling back. It sounds like they're not renewing the contracts of a large majority of their staff. Some of the teams are sticking around. Sounds like they're going to kind of become their own independent things. The Astros Playroom developer, Asobi team, and Toyoma, who was one of the designers behind Silent Hill and Gravity Rush. I think he was like the game directors. He's got a new studio that I think they recently announced that we had talked about recently, Boken Game Studio, that is also sticking around. But it sounds like they're just kind of winding things down. It's not necessarily, I mean, obviously people are losing jobs and that's unfortunate, but it also doesn't sound like it's kind of a cut and run type deal. It's just, hey, this is not going to be our priority anymore. because sales have not been great for games like Knack and Gravity Rush. Despite, I mean, Gravity Rush was a really cool concept, especially back on the original Vita, but back originally when it released on the Vita, when you could, basically like turn the screen around the entire way and like the screen would follow it. It was just kind of innovative in the way you moved around in that world, kind of flying and floating and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you see this stuff all the time, but it's unfortunate when people lose their jobs,
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I understand.
Yeah. Sometimes business decisions just happen, unfortunately. Speaking of business decisions, Dominic, the big one of the week came in the form of the decision to not continue development on Anthem Next. It is officially
that's the official
scrapped.
title of it?
Yeah, I think that's what they were referring to it as when that first article came out about it. I think that's what they were calling it. Like this is the update I don't know, fleshing out of the original Anthem. This isn't, Anthem 2 or anything like that. But It was basically bringing Anthem to the level that we expected Anthem to be at when it launched.
Exactly. Like how they kind of did Destiny, not Destiny, No Man's Sky,
Yeah, a Final Fantasy Online, like one of those types of things, basically. Yeah, and it's hard to see the argument against this, against stopping development on this. I mean, who is sitting there waiting for Anthem to be finished? I mean, I think we've moved on past that.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I was
sorry then.
Yeah, you edited it out, and I edited it out when me complaining about it because it was just becoming sad. No. But yeah, like, people are more excited for Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So why even work on this Anthem?
Spend the time and resources on Anthem.
I mean, like I said before, man, damn. I mean, why did they even fucking make this game?
Because live services were the new hotness, Dominic.
That's the thing. Like, I don't mind new IP. I'm excited for new IP.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, why this? Well, like, why this type of game?
Even when that game, like, first started popping up, like, those suits are cool. The movement in the game was pretty cool, flying around like Iron Man. And then you just launch with not a lot of content and in really bad shape. This was the proto Cyberpunk, Dominic. Except Cyberpunk had more content.
Yeah, man. It's just so disappointing, like, what Bioware has become after Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
After Mass Effect 3. I mean, that Dragon Age Inquisition it was an okay game. I mean, you'll see, like, go through history. Hey, it was Game of the Year for people that year. Well, it wasn't many games that come out. It was either that or the Mordor game, the Lord of the Rings game. Yeah. So you was either those two who's going to be Game of the Year that year. And like, cause it was okay. Like, it wasn't even great, but man, I mean, you talk about Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, these games, they were compared to BioWare standards, love their past. It's like, man, this is mediocre, man. Like, these are like, mediocre. I mean, they weren't horrible, but I mean, they had their problems, like technical problems that was really bad, but even the game was just technically sound at the beginning. They were okay. It's like, then Anthem, like, you go for the service game, it's like, what? So what? It's like, you got this whole universe. Now people, I know, look, not everybody wants to keep staying with the same thing. And I totally understand, which I really wish there were other studios. Maybe you got other people, when Obsidian was just doing, like, helping people with things, like, to continue that universe. I mean, that Mass Effect universe, man, could have been so many other stuff. It could have been maybe a straight up action game somebody could have did. Like, EA could have had somebody do that. Maybe you could have had, like, a strategy game. You could have had it, or a game like, what the what? I mean, the Mario Rabbids game. You know, you can have you have one of those games.
Style.
Yeah. So you could have had something like that with Mass Effect. What's the name of the game that's more famous for that?
XCOM.
XCOM, yeah. XCOM type of Mass Effect game could have been. I mean, you could have so many things with that universe. And you didn't. I mean, I can't really blame Bioware for that because, I mean, like I said, they're one studio. They probably focus on one thing, but EA just with that license.
Yeah, I mean, you saw things like the phone game starring, what's his name, the Merc dude. You saw them expand a little bit.
A little bit.
You know, those kind of things like iOS and whatnot. But yeah, obviously they never went in the direction of like a more serious game, not to take too much away from phone games, because I think that one was actually pretty all right.
I mean, the story I heard it was all right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy to think that years ago that was the game and could have been the series and the franchise that you build a studio, a company around, basically. I mean, EA could have been swimming in bucks, you know, just pumping out Mass Effect stuff. And you could argue the merit of that depending on the quality of what products they're putting out. But yeah, and then to come out with something like Andromeda that clearly did not live up to the standards of those previous games, regardless of what you thought about some of like the endings and whatnot to 3, and just basically kill that franchise dead. I mean, here we are trying to go back to it with these remaster collections and with this new one, but it's just not going to be the same until they prove otherwise.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's also sad that it's going back to the well of their old franchises. So it's like, well, are they ever going to do anything new then?
Right. Are they going to be too afraid because this failed so poorly?
But it only failed because y'all made a bad game.
Yep. Exactly.
Because Destiny, I mean, hey, Destiny did all right. Destiny did pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's a new IP. So good for Bungie. But look, that didn't, y'all just failed because y'all made a bad game. It wasn't because of a new IP.
Yep.
Because I don't mind. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind the Bioware team moving on while somebody else just picks the mantle up. You know, just like with the Halo. Like, I would have want Bungie to keep making Halo games forever.
Yeah, exactly. The same to an extent with Gears of War, you know, seeing those guys move, you know, turn over judgment to People Can Fly, and you can, you know, we can talk about how that was the right or wrong decision. But then obviously, you know, it moving to the Coalition, Black Tusk, whatever it was at the time. And then obviously now we just have Epic making Fortnite, but that's neither here nor there. But at the time, Fortnite proper, destroy the world or whatever, save the world, whatever it was a new novel concept.
It was. Definitely was. It definitely was way different than like someone that Gears more like cartoony and something than Gears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right there with you. Like, I really like the idea of having your like main big studios creating these IPs and then funneling that down to your mid-tier studios or whatever, your guys that are your workhorses, basically, right? Like, you have like your creative team pushing and innovating, and then you can have your workhorses evolving, and obviously you're making a slightly different game, but you're not revolutionizing things in the way that your main team is. But you're still giving people the ability to explore those IPs and those worlds that they enjoyed from those previous games. And hey, maybe at some point down the line, the main team's like, hey, I want to jump back in on this and do something really cool to it. And then we kind of start the cycle over again. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that the game studios, or rather, I guess publishers more so, they're kind of the money behind all this stuff, aren't don't work in that way. You know, we don't really see stuff in that way. I mean, I guess the closest thing you get, honestly, and it's weird to say, is Call of Duty, because you don't really ever. It's been so mixed up at this point that there isn't like the main studio anymore. It's kind of like all of these studios are the workhorse studios, and nobody's really revolutionizing everything. It's more just, here you go. Here's the thing that's slightly evolved from the last thing. And here's, you know, every year. So maybe that's why other publishers aren't doing it, because eventually that main studio goes away. But at the same time, that main studio never got to do something else, I guess, to counteract that point is, you know, I guess, who would we consider that main studio? Infinity War, I guess, at one point was.
Yeah, it was. And then, I guess we said, hey, I guess Raven is the main one.
I think like Treyarch kind of.
Oh, Treyarch, that's what it was. Yeah, Treyarch.
They came in and got the. Yeah, but I mean, that's part of the problem, right? Is like that didn't follow what we're setting out here, because Infinity Ward was just making another Call of Duty game. They were just making a Call of Duty game 3 years out instead of being able to work on something else to kind of get those creative juices going while the other teams did all the grunt work kind of stuff. So.
All right.
Yes, we'll see, Dominic.
Yeah,
these days.
So what else we got, man? It look like some other bad news.
Yeah, it's kind of in the similar vein, sort of, but not really, but also, I don't know. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which was originally going to be coming out this year after being delayed, I think, out of last year, and so on and so forth. Now is not going to be coming out in 2021. 2022 sounds like it might be pushing it too, because the publisher Paradox has decided to go a different direction, and the developer Hardsuit Labs is no longer working on that game.
Aaron, so they get new developers.
Yeah, so it sounds like we're, you know, moving on past this. And this is the studio, this is the statement from Paradox. It sounds like maybe they like, okay, you guys laid the groundwork, but we're moving on from here. The game is very important to us, and it's been an ambitious project from the very start. In order to meet our goals for it, we've come to the conclusion that a change is needed, and as a result, more development time is required. We'd like to take this opportunity to honor Hardsuit Labs for their efforts and thank them for their hard work on this project. The studio has done a tremendous job in laying the foundation for the game, and we hope that you, the community, will appreciate their contribution to Bloodlines 2. So it doesn't sound like, you know, hey guys, get the fuck off of this game, but it also isn't a great look that maybe they couldn't provide the service that Paradox was looking for to get this game done in the way that they wanted to, you know. And I wonder if you see a decision like this made kind of on the back of a Cyberpunk, and publishers realizing that, hey, maybe we can't get away with a broken or not up to par game, so let's delay it and then look at it again, and okay, maybe it's more than just time that we need here. Maybe we need some different creative minds and hands on this thing.
Man, that's unfortunate, but I hope this game still comes out, because I kind of want to play it. I mean, because I missed out on the first one, and it sounds really interesting from what people talk about it, and so I was I can jump on the second one.
I would actually be interested to see. I'm sure there's got to be some kind of fan mods and whatnot that brings the original relatively up to par, makes it playable nowadays without too much like, oh, this game looks really terrible. Because I think that would be a game that I could see you really getting into, the player choices that they give you, and just. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward combat stuff. I remember it being relatively good back in the day. So I can see you actually enjoying that quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So hopefully one of these days we'll have better news.
Screaming back there.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
She projects well, yes. All right, let's move on to some more fun news here, Dominic. We got Ripley and the Xenomorph coming to Fortnite from the Aliens franchise.
Oh, yeah. Did they get that weird Xenomorph that was like half human? Because it came from Ripley
I
or
have
something?
not seen that one. I've just seen classic Xenomorph. Can't wait, just like we were saying last week with Ryu.
I mean, that's the
Can't
one
wait
that
to see
fans,
a
I don't
Xenomorph
think
running
fans
around
like that
with a
movie.
gun.
What was that, 4?
No.
I think that was 4. Yeah.
Is that Resurrection?
Whatever 4 was.
that
I don't
just number
remember
4?
the subtitle. I don't remember the title for the fourth movie in the series.
Yeah, because it was Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection, I think, which is actually the one that's directed by David Fincher, which is
with the one from Hellboy in there. Hellboy, he was in there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And it was something like she, and I don't know if that was even her. Like she was a clone because she's supposed to be dead. Because I was confused. It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah. It's time to just make a fun alien movie with like crossover with Terminator. Ooh, can we do? People propose Fast and the Furious ends up in space. Can we just do like a Fast and the Furious crossover with aliens and just make it fun spectacle?
Or the That's Predator. I mean, the Predator, like we gotta stop the Predator.
Yeah, there you go. What I'm saying is I want The Rock and or Vin Diesel and or what's his name, Shaw, to punch an alien in the face. And then they get eaten. Because aliens don't play that shit, Dominic.
No, they don't.
All right, and some other news, Dominic. We got Monster Hunter Rise, what we thought was a Switch exclusive, is coming to the PC in 2022.
Yeah, PC is getting best of both worlds. They getting they already have Monster Hunter Worlds, and now they're getting Rise too. And now we got to hear the console people, because Switch people were all upset because they couldn't get World. Now we got to hear like the Xbox and PlayStation fans be upset that they can't get Rise.
Yeah, it seems a little weird that it's coming to the PC and maybe not the consoles. So wouldn't be entirely surprised if it came there too. I wonder if we'll see Monster Hunter Stories on anything else.
I don't know about that. That's the kiddie one, right? The cartoon.
Yeah, it's like
the one I'm a little more interested in, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably easier because it's probably easier. I can get into.
All right, Dominic. In some other news, we got news on Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is getting upgrades and versions for the PS5 and Xbox Series X.
You really see those bruises
coming out
when you crash.
It's coming out on March 26th, and it's also coming to the Nintendo Switch sometime this year. They didn't give a specific date for that one.
Oh, good. Yes, the Switch.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how well that looks and runs on the Switch, because that game is relatively graphically impressive. So I hope it can hold up, especially a smooth frame rate. And the Series X and PlayStation versions will have upgrade paths if you bought the digital deluxe edition, or if you bought the physical edition, or actually I think it's if you bought the digital deluxe edition, you get a free upgrade. And if you bought the digital standard edition on either set of consoles or the physical edition only on the PlayStation 4, you can pay $10 and get the upgraded version. I'm not entirely sure why you can't upgrade the standard physical edition of an Xbox One, but that appears to be the rules, Dominic. So that's going on. We also got some new stuff from Halo Infinite. There is some new screenshots out there of some environments looking very nice. and blog about kind of what they're doing with the game. They said there's going to be seamlessly connected combat zones and side missions, but they said they are not making an open world game because they're making a Halo game. So basically they're making an open world game that is a Halo game. So what do you think, Dominic? Are you any more impressed by these graphics that you're seeing in these screenshots, or anything in the what they're talking about as far as game direction that they're going that excites you?
Not really. I mean, they look good, but I wasn't the one complaining. I don't think I ever did. Did I ever complain? Only thing I think I complained was that it was like, it didn't look that much better than when the first time I seen it. I was like, hey, this game is not really visually impressive or anything. It looks okay.
But there was no denying that you would have bought that game anyway if it was released.
I was still going to buy it.
Well,
though. Yeah, well, Game Pass. I was still going to play it because it's going to be on Game Pass. Yeah. But, I mean, look at it now. I mean, it does look good. I mean, from the screenshots, I want to see it in motion. I mean, it does look good. It does look good. I felt it was a little too smooth on the initial release. So but yeah, I wasn't like visually impressed. Like, it was all right, but I just wasn't like, yeah, this is next gen. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. I was thinking like, hey, this is next gen.
Exactly. It definitely wasn't, mind blowing. And I think part of it and what they show in these screenshots is a lot of landscapes and stuff. And I don't think that stuff ever necessarily looked bad. It was more specifically the gorilla guy, him and some of the character models, the gun models as well were a little more simplistic.
Gorilla Joe, that's his name.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Dominic. So we've now moved into the PlayStation portion of our news. Earlier this week, we got word that they are in the works on a PlayStation 5 variant of PlayStation VR that will not be coming out this year. It will use some of the haptics and feedback stuff from the DualSense controller, so that's promising. As well as hopefully we just get better controllers, things that aren't adapted from the PlayStation Move back in the day. Sounds like it's still corded. They basically saying that they were looking to make a one cord solution for this. So that's, either here or there. I mean, obviously now you have things like the Oculus Quest 2 being out there, being a fully wireless thing. But it's also got an amount of power in it that's probably necessary to do that. And with a console, you're really looking to just avoid latency. I mean, well, with VR, you're looking to avoid latency because that's the kind of stuff that can make people physically ill. So I understand them still going the route of having a cable. I would just hope that they go the route of inside-out tracking, so you don't have a PlayStation camera necessary or any sort of base stations like you do in a Valve setup or something like that. So
yeah, that's cool.
We'll see.
We're getting an official announcement of that.
Yeah,
that's why I'm happy.
I was a little surprised to see that news not accompany like anything else. You didn't see a shot of the headset. You didn't see, hey, these are proposed controller designs or anything like that. It was very, yes, we are working on that thing. You'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that they are doing something with VR. So, all right, Dominic, the PlayStation State of Play. So we had that this week. I think people were expecting some big stuff out of it. I think after the fact, people were kind of walking that back and like, oh, you were really expecting something this time of the year to show off a big new thing. And it's like, yeah, I kind of was, honestly. So it kicked off with Crash Bandicoot 4. That's going to get some PlayStation 5 enhancements, higher frame rates, quicker loading times, that kind of stuff. That's coming March 21st. After that was some Returnal gameplay. So I was thinking about this game when you were talking about, a new third-person action shooter type thing that you're looking for. Are you seeing something that you're interested in here with Returnal?
I am interested, but this seems more exploration, don't it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's some action to it, but it seems like it's a good mix. I mean, it's a game I am interested in though. Like I am interested in, but I never thought of it as like a Gears. If it
like
is
third person shooter.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely seems like it would be lighter on that stuff than a Gears, which is basically nonstop, always shooting stuff. So I see what you're saying there. After that was Knockout City, which we talked about last week. That's the dodgeball EA game coming out May 21st. It looks like fun, but I just can't get over Rocket Arena and how close this thing is to that. And I can't trust it, Dominic. I can't put any faith in it.
I mean, this was more in depth of it, like the actual gameplay, than the Nintendo's Direct. But yeah, like you said, it's still the same. Like, is this going to last? Is this going to be the one that lasts? You know, with all these other games, and because you got to pay for it, it's not free to play.
Exactly. That's the biggest sticking point with these games, especially like Rocket Arena. When that came out, you were looking at it like that should be a free to play game, and I feel like it's going to be the same way with this game, and then a week later, we're going to find out that it's like $2. And then a month after that, it's going to be a PlayStation Plus game or something like that, which is just going to prove the point that nobody's really playing it and nobody was really wanting it.
Yeah.
Even though it does look kind of cool. Okay. After that was Sifu. This is like a cell shaded kind of, what they showed was a guy in a hallway fighting guys with martial arts. I believe this is the developer of Absolver, which kind of had a similar art style, and it also did similar things with like melee combat and whatnot. It looked really neat from the trailer. I'm just interested to see like what you end up actually doing in it. Is it at all like very confined spaces, or is it, is it a linear level based thing? Is it a more open world thing? Am I just, running into these guys, beating them up?
Yeah, exactly. Is it, that's all I was wondering. Is like, is it just like, and like, didn't you see yourself die, or like, like he died or something?
He falls down and then grows a beard and gets back up.
Yeah. I would, if it's something like, how far can you get until you die? Like, it's just like, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep fighting. I was wondering, like, what kind of gameplay is this?
I did get kind of a roguelike vibe out of it. Like, I could see him, dying and then doing it again or something.
I was wondering, like, it's like a combo system. Like, how long can you keep this combo going? Like, fighting a bunch of enemies at the same time until you get to the last guy. Like, continuously fighting. Like, I was wondering something like that. I don't know. I was thinking it was going to be something unique. I was, at least I'm hoping in it.
I want to see some gameplay of that. And maybe a little more on that. Okay. After that was Solar Ash. This is a new game from Heart Machine, who's the developer behind Hyper Light Drifter. And it kind of has that like, pink and blues neon-y vibe to it. This is full 3D. And it looks like you're kind of skating around. I don't know if it's like on air, almost like Journey-like, kind of platforming around. There was also some action bits. That's supposed to be coming out this year. Thought that looked really cool, but I don't really know what's going on in it. It seemed like maybe it was too fast-paced to do the platforming too. Like, I feel like it looked really good, but playing it, I wouldn't feel as in control as the video makes. I don't know. I think
it's one of those games that I guess could be, but I was picturing that it did feel good. Like, it was something that it looked good, and I bet you if you got it in your hands, you would feel like, oh man, this feels really nice. Like,
and Hyper Light Drifter was a very good feeling game.
Yeah, so that's why I think
I definitely believe it. I don't know, like. For me, I guess it's the speed. Like, I think that's the case with, I'm trying to think of one recently where I played where I'm just like, Well, I guess part of it was like Mario when I first started playing it. Is like when I'm running, like all of a sudden I feel like I'm not in control. Although what I will say, like to jump back to Mario real quick, just because I didn't really say this because I forgot about it. But what I appreciate is in the levels where they have you like running constantly, it almost feels like they lock you into this grid of like, if I press the stick right, I'm going to turn right. It's not, I moved the stick like right, but also a little bit down. So now like I'm running off the cliff. Like it's very much controlled. So I think they do that in a smart way. So yeah, I can see them, you know, obviously accounting for the speed that they're giving to this game and making it feel good. So I'm intrigued. I want to see what this is. After that was Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Dominic. Are you ready to enter the scary mall slash, what is Chuck E. Cheese-esque, I guess restaurant is the word I was looking for, world of Five Nights at Freddy's? This looks like it's more like actual 3D world moving around situation.
Yeah, it does. I mean, this is like maybe this is a good game because some people they like it, like reviews they don't call it a good game even though it's really popular, but there's like this ain't a good game. Maybe this will be something where reviewers will be like, oh, this is actually a real game now. But it's still not a game I would touch. I'll watch Markiplier play it.
There you go.
I'll watch him play it, but hey, I'll be damn, I'm touching that game. I didn't like that first. I played that first one, man. It scared the shit out of me. That thing jumping out, man.
All right. After that, we got a little bit of walkthrough gameplay stuff from Lauren Lanning on Oddworld Soulstorm. It's going to have crafting in it because every game has crafting in it nowadays, Dominic. And that's coming out April 6th and is going to be the PlayStation 5, PlayStation Plus game for that month. So,
oh, shit.
That's pretty cool. Up. Yeah.
I want to play this. I mean, because now I'm more interested in Outworld because I feel like I missed out on it. And I want to try it. I never gave it a chance. And I want to try this out. The only Oddworld game I ever gave a chance was Stranger's Wrath because you can shoot. And I remember not liking the controls to it when I first played it, really. But yeah, I kind of want to give this a shot. I might give the HD version a shot one day. One day, when I ever find time in between all these other games I play.
Yeah. I wonder how this one feels because like it was always very stiff, like old Prince of Persia style. Like you have to get to the very edge of the ledge and then press the jump button to clear the chasm. So I wonder if that's a little looser now, and not loose so much, but you know, air control and that kind of thing. To maybe modernize it a little more, or if they go the route of kind of keeping it closer to the original.
Yeah.
So after that was some Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's the one with the little girl and the stick and the stuff and the adventure game.
Yeah, it kind of like a Zelda-ish kind of game or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's coming out August 24th, 2021. So that's looking pretty good. That also I know is on the Epic Store because when I opened that earlier to find the demo for Outrider, it was there.
So is it console exclusive to PlayStation right now?
Yeah, I believe it is. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to come to the PS4, PS5 only, and I believe it is Epic Store exclusive as well for right now. All right, after that was Deathloop, the Bethesda game. That one it just showed a lot more gameplay. It still looks cool.
It was a nice trailer. It was kind of like a Bond-esque kind of thing, you know.
Very much
kind of a 60s vibe, a 70s vibe, I guess. Like those type of espionage movies that came out then. And still, like, I'm just surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised to see it. It's just like, I just want the game now. There's just no way just to see people play it.
Yeah.
Because some people
how does this asynchronous
talk about
stuff
how
work?
It's online. You always have to be online. That's all in the comments, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not.
Definitely looks cool. And then the final thing they showed off, Dominic, their kind of closing thing, was the Final Fantasy VII Remake that is getting a PlayStation 5 upgrade. And along with that is also an additional episode starring Yuffie. So you're gonna bring her in. That's coming out.
And she's in
June
Midgar.
10th.
So I'm guessing this is like, hey,
Yeah.
they don't meet her. She was there though. She was there, like a side story or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost happening in coinciding with the actual story of the game itself. So that is coming out as Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrade. So that's a word to add. Yeah, and the Yuffie, Yuffie. I always used to call her Yuffie, but apparently she's Yuffie. So.
Yeah, that's what I always call her, Yuffie.
Yeah, so Yuffie is going
right.
to.
So I was right.
Yeah,
That's
she's
stupid.
gonna.
Still not
Her
like
stuff's
the
gonna
name.
be additional. You got to pay for that, but the upgrade from the base edition of the PS4 version is going to be free. So that's nice. Free for people that purchase the game. That will come back later. So, all right, Dominic, in some other news, Final Fantasy related. That's why I stuck it on here. This was not part of the State of Play. But there are going to be 2 new Final Fantasy VII mobile games. The first one will be First Soldier, and this is going to be a battle royale game coming to iOS and Android later this year. So if you ever wanted to play a battle royale game but haven't jumped on because it didn't have Final Fantasy characters, now is your time.
Well, I still don't know what Final Fantasy characters are going to be in it. It seems like you are a soldier because there's a story element to like. This is like you're a
generic dude, but he has spiky hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you're not seeing like Cloud running around, slashing people with.
I think
his
you
buster
are a
sword
soldier, like you're a soldier. This is like some type of. This is happened all before the events of Final Fantasy of the 7.
And then the other one is Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. And this appears to be, I don't know if it's consolidated or what, but they basically said it's a retelling of the original story. It's like upgraded visuals from the first one, but we're not talking like remake version. We're talking like it's chibi style. So it almost looks like they're staying true to the original game, but making it look better. And I really dig the vibe of that. It seems cool. And if it's honestly, I wouldn't mind a like shorter version of the game, like a condensed version of the story. Especially if that came out on like the Nintendo Switch, because I'm not really looking to play a game like this on my phone, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing something like this either.
Or even on the PC.
Yeah.
So wouldn't mind seeing that. So yeah. After that, yesterday on Friday, we got
we're finished.
Pokemon.
Wait a minute, time out. We finished with State of Play. I mean, let's review it. Let's talk about, so what you think of the State of Play?
I was disappointed. I texted you that day because honestly, I did kind of expect something bigger than Final Fantasy getting a PS5 upgrade. And the Yuffie stuff, that is something, at least. It wasn't just that they're coming out with, hey, here's prettier visuals, here's quicker loading times. They did actually have new content to show off for that. But it still felt underwhelming to me when there are things on the table like Horizon Zero Dawn and the God of War tease that have yet to be really elaborated on.
Yeah.
And now thinking about it, like we didn't even get any like Ratchet and Clank stuff.
That's what somebody said too. It's like, hey man, no Ratchet and Clank.
So,
and that's coming up.
What do you think?
So, I felt the same way. It was a little underwhelming. I was expecting more, but it's really underwhelming. It's really not that's what you say. It's really underwhelming. The only game that was new. I mean, I'm happy that the Final Fantasy is going to upgrade. I mean, I think it was coming probably eventually. But is that with that that ninja game. What was it called? Name of it,
Sifu.
Sifu is like something new from that. But even though looking at that graphically, I don't see it as like a next gen or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. See that on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I really could. So yeah, it wasn't like anything big. Like the Nintendo Direct wasn't huge for me either, but I think I got more out of that, like stuff that I was more interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I also admittedly, when I texted you that night, when I came into it, which I think was only like 5 minutes after it started, it was at Sifu, and then I saw that on. So I didn't realize that they had showed Returnal, which is really the only bigger thing out of the stuff that I missed, I guess. But I think that would have swayed me a little more positively, because I think that game did look good, and what they showed of it was nice.
Yeah. Did they do an upgrade with the Grand Theft Auto yet?
I haven't seen any news on that yet, outside of... I'm not even sure because they were supposed to make, is it the online that's free if you have a PlayStation 5?
It was something like that.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's like available yet or not. If that had launched. Let's see. PlayStation 5 GTA Online. Coming in 2021. And that's from June of last year. So, yeah, I would guess they have not actually launched it yet. So, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's a game that is... that is a game that is going to survive generations, Dominic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, you see the memes all the time now of like, here's what Grand Theft Auto looked like in 2007. Here's what it looked like in 13 when it came out? Yeah, 2013 when it came out. And here's what it looks like in 2021. And it's the same game. I mean, that is wild to think. It's been 8 years. That's a game that outlived a generation of consoles. Specifically because of their online and just making fucking absolute bank off of it, Dominic. There's another one for you, Dominic. Give the Grand Theft Auto license to somebody else and let them make some like side stories or something, right? Like that could be fun.
Yeah, at least do that. Yeah, and go back to make a bully game. Damn it, shit.
There you go.
Or give the bully license to somebody to make a bully game. You ain't gonna do it no more. Damn.
You don't want it anymore. Just give it to somebody else. Yeah. All right, Dominic. You ready for some Pokemon?
Yeah, let's do the Pokemon.
All right,
Do
we
the
gotta
Pokemon
catch them all.
dance.
To the Pokemon. Dun, dun, dun,
When you
dun,
act like
dun,
you're throwing
dun,
a ball,
Pokemon.
catching them.
Is that what it? Okay. All right. So Pokemon Presents, Dominic. This happened yesterday at the time of recording this, Friday, the 26th. First up was a new Pokemon Snap. Not a new Pokemon Snap. The new Pokemon Snap. It's the one we have talked about previously. It's coming out April 30th. It looks good for a Pokemon Snap game. We've talked about it previously. That's not a thing that I think I need at this point in time in my life. But if you put it on sale for $10 to $15, maybe I would pick it up eventually. But a full price product, you're not getting me on board with this thing.
Yeah, for $60 now. Like, I mean, it looks nice and everything, but I was like, come on, man. You got to be real. Like, this is not worth it, man. You could have put this in the goddamn, like I said before, the main game. You could have put it in the main game. Mm-hmm. Could have it like, hey, in this, when you get to this section, oh, let's go on a safari tour. Hey, take the safari tour. And you take pictures of Pokemon.
Yep. So there's that. After that, Dominic, big news. I think this has been rumored for quite a while, and there was actually a leak the morning of Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. The remakes of Diamond and Pearl are coming late 2021. Now, I was seeing some people online being disappointed that this was not full on Sword and Shield style, full 3D world situation. This was instead chibi style, kind of keeps the top down camera, pretties up all the graphics, but very much not, full on adventure kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of am too. I mean, I feel like, dude, you got too much money, man. Y'all could at the least do it that. I mean, because that's not really graphically great either to me. I mean,
right.
it's all right.
Yeah, and you have the framework there, so you can just build the assets around that game.
Exactly.
Engine.
So to do it this way, I feel like, come on, man. Man, it's bad enough you're going to have it where you don't make even real Pokemon sounds. It's still like, it's still doing that shit. It's like, damn, man. Like, you have not evolved. And that's what your game is based off of, is evolution. You have not evolved enough for me.
Yeah. Well, Dominic, for you, I've got something else, Dominic. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think that's the name of the Pokemon. This is going to be a full-on open world 3D, throwing the ball in real time. I don't know what the battles look like, if there are, but that could be cool if that's the case. Pokemon game, like straight up what we've all said we wanted for quite a long time, seemingly. I don't necessarily trust them, Dominic. I haven't seen like full-on gameplay yet. A lot of people are comparing it to basically a Breath of the Wild, but for Pokemon. We'll see if that ends up being the case, if it ends up being as open and free as that game. But that's coming out early 2022. So I was positing to you earlier, maybe that's why Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl look the way they do, to kind of get that market while also not hurting the market for this game at all. Those two games kind of can exist together a little more freely than two full-on 3D world kind of games, and maybe Diamond and Pearl don't eat into Legends.
I just have a feeling that game, I mean, we saw a little bit of it, that is really just going to look like Sword and Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have this look like Sword and Shield, and then you have this, people are like, oh man, the graphics aren't that upgraded. Right. I mean, they probably upgraded some, but I mean, for the little bit I've seen that they showed,
it does look a bit prettier.
Huh?
It does look it feels like it looks a bit prettier from the little bit.
Yeah, it looks a bit prettier, but it probably won't look like a huge upgrade compared if you had the Sword and Shield graphics with Diamond Pearl and
absolutely, yeah,
and
so soon, especially
beautiful, whatever. What the hell is called? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, no, I said Diamond Pearl. Okay, I just didn't use their little their adjectives, whatever the fuck they use. Whatever. Yeah. I'm curious about this. So this so it makes sense because this is based on the Senfu location. What's it called? Is it Senfu or Shifu?
Is it Shinu?
Shinu? Oh yeah,
Shinu.
I'm getting mixed with the game.
Big Pokemon fans here, Dominic.
Well, wait, I didn't play these. I wasn't.
Sinnoh.
Yeah,
Sinnoh. That's what it is. Yeah,
Sinnoh. Well, what? Wait a minute. Is this based off the Emerald? Was Emerald part of this?
Yes, Emerald was.
Okay, so I did play it because I played yours because you let me hold it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know what the location was called. I never learned the location.
Yeah.
So this supposed to take it in feudal.
It's funny that people correspond like the different Pokemon to the different regions, because for me it was never like this is the Kanto game. Like I know that now after the fact, but I can't really tell you what most of these places took place.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like it's feudal Japan, so it's going to be different. You got wooden Pokeballs. It looks like it's almost shit like that. But yeah, it's interesting that they're going this past route. But I'm just like, it's probably not going to be voice acting, and it's probably going to be just making noises, like crazy noises for this Pokemon. Yeah, I was thinking like it's just not going to be an evolution for me though.
Well, here's the hoping, Dominic. I'm hoping something positive comes out of this here, but we shall see. And I think continuing the Pokemon celebration today, I think today is the day that the Post Malone Pokemon concert occurs.
Oh yeah, yeah, one of the best basketball players. Yeah, there you go. It's going to it's going.
My favorite WCW wrestler and also mailman.
Yeah.
Because I just assumed that
Post
people called
Office
him the
Malone.
mailman because he delivered mail. Which means it's going to be delayed like the rest of the mail.
Yep.
Relevant.
Like my SIM
All right,
card for my
Dominic.
phone. I suppose I got that like a few days ago. So have not been here yet. I don't know why they chose them. I was like, you couldn't pick like FedEx or UPS or something, man. Shit.
Yeah. It's been terrible.
Get Amazon. Give them the Amazon guy because they just take their jobs anyway.
It's maybe a little too real, Dominic. A little too real. All right. Did you see anything else you want to talk about before we get into the games for Gold and PlayStation Plus for March?
Nah, I think I'm good.
All right. March 2021. I don't know why I wrote 2012. Games for Gold. We got Warface Breakout, Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse, Metal Slug 3, and Port Royale 3. How many of those games have you ever actually even heard of, Dominic?
Okay, let me look up here. I heard of Port Royale.
Okay. I was not familiar with that one. Seemed like your pirates, maybe kind of a strategy thing.
Yeah. Let me make sure that's the same game I'm thinking of. Yes, I heard of it, but I don't really care about playing that type of game right now.
Yeah.
But it's something that's kind of somewhat up my alley. Remnant from Ashes, I remember. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's that.
Yep. We haven't gotten there yet. We didn't get to the good games yet, Dominic.
Metal Slug. Metal Slug I heard of. But yeah these are all Warface. Warface I have heard of, but I just
that's the Crisis multiplayer thing.
Yeah, I don't care about playing that.
Kind of surprising ever came out.
I thought that thing was free to play, so I don't even know why.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think this is the part you buy. Like
maybe, yeah.
I ain't never heard of Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse though.
Me neither. And apparently you're like mechs and you're fighting.
Yeah, I thought you were a llama.
Llamas.
I thought you were the
you're
llama.
Fighting llama. You're killing llamas, Dominic.
I know.
You're fighting the Laminati or something like that. And I hate it.
This is not a great month for my sake. It's something different. Metal Slug, I never did get into it, but at least
it'd be fun.
I did a try.
Those games are difficult, which is probably what would keep me away from Metal Slug.
Darn it, man.
Should have waited to tell you that until after you played it. But yeah, it's rough. And then for PlayStation Plus this month, you got Remnant from the Ashes for the PS4, Farpoint, which is that first-person shooter for PlayStation VR, which was apparently all right.
Oh, cool. You get a PSVR free game. That's nice.
Yeah. Maquette, which is going to be your PS5 only download game.
What is that?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I had never heard of that. It made me think of
I know
like
a
Marionnettes.
Marquette, which is a school, and they're pretty good at basketball. And they beat North Carolina recently.
Oh, really?
But not Maquette. I have no idea. They forgot the R.
It is a bold puzzle game love story.
Oh, my
a decade in the making.
Yeah.
Brought to you from Annapurna. So, yeah, I'm watching some of it. It looks very cool. I would try that out if I had a PlayStation 5 to play it on.
Why is that game exclusive to PlayStation 5? Is it really demanding? Is it next gen?
No, but it's probably just like, here's a game that, they've kind of started that trend, right? Of like, here's a PlayStation 5 game that we're only going to give you on the PlayStation 5, even though there might be a PlayStation 4 version of it.
But, so is there a PlayStation 4 version of this game?
Let's find out, Dominic. So I am given the option on Metacritic to see the PS4 version, but no reviews for it. Yes, apparently there is a PS4 version.
Okay, all right. So it's just a PS.
It is
okay.
PS4, PS5, and PC. It appears to be.
All right, that's cool.
And there aren't reviews because it doesn't come out until March 2nd, which makes sense.
Oh, it's coming yet? Oh, yeah. so it's a free game, a free new game. That's cool.
Yeah, which is nice because they've been kind of doing that. And we already know that next month they will be doing that as well with Abe's Odyssey. Well, not Abe's, you know what I mean. And the big one, Dominic. Now, I texted you like the day before because I had started seeing rumors about this. And I was like, this is not going to happen. Like, I would love it to happen, but this is not going to fucking happen. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dominic, is going to be the PlayStation Plus game for the PS4 this coming month.
That's
like,
incredible.
That is wild.
That's incredible. A year later.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine.
Thank
why.
God I didn't go ahead and buy it.
What incentive do they have?
Thank God I didn't go ahead and buy it. Man.
Exactly. But there is some wording on this apparently that this version of it will not be upgradable through the upgrade program to the PS5 graphics and modes, I guess. Which is unfortunate. I mean,
I understand because I guess they're saying, hey, we want to get the money. But then again, I'm like, didn't PlayStation pay you?
Yeah. I mean, that it's weird because it's like, I don't know. I feel like also this is like the first time that something like this has happened, right?
I
Where
know.
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't get the Xbox the Xbox X enhancements or something like that because I didn't buy the full game instead of buying,
because the implication is that you're giving me the full game for free, right? With these games.
Right.
So it's like, I have these games now. So now you're saying like, this is a special version.
Mm-hmm.
This is the PS Plus version, the PlayStation Plus version. They're not just, that is a little weird. Yeah. Yeah, I see that can look as weird because I feel like, hey, y'all paid these guys right for this, right?
Yeah.
So you paid it and
they didn't pay him enough, Dominic. Square drives a hard bargain. I mean, honestly, like, it's more like, why'd you even give this game to us then?
Yeah,
like,
I'm thinking that
you didn't have to.
Yeah. Nobody's respecting
it's not,
this
I don't
game.
want it. It's just like,
nobody's
you didn't have to give
this
game to us. What
Especially
are you doing?
after y'all going to show like re-enhancing the free enhancements for the PS5 version. It's like,
yeah,
that's weird that you give this game for free.
Yeah. Here's the game for free. Also, you're going to have to pay us to get this pretty version that we showed you the day before we announced this. I don't know. It's just weird all around, but I'm excited. Hey, free Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Also, they're doing a promotion right now. I don't know that it's started yet. I think it starts on March 1st. That the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game is going to be free digitally. So if you don't own that game, you can get that free, and I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome. I just posited the question because I was thinking about it as I was writing these lists up, Dominic. Does it seem like since Game Pass has existed since its inception that the quality of games for gold games have gone down? Is that a conspiracy theory on my part, or could
I don't know.
Be
I don't know. So
maybe there's a smaller
I think
pool
these
of
games are
that
all
they're pulling
10s
from
to me
now
that we got right here.
Okay,
so
sure.
I think quality is subjective, but no. But maybe I'm just trying to think of some big. I mean, it's hard for me to think about. I have to look at my library here. See if I can remember.
Yeah, see what's actually come out these past couple of months.
Full library, games for gold. I like that they do separate them.
Yeah, that is nice.
I mean, you had Dandara recently come out. I mean, I wouldn't call. It all depends on who you are. Well, I'm trying to think.
It's a really good game. Yeah,
so
but it's not,
what AAA? Like what AAA games have come out recently?
Sphinx and the Curse of the Mummy.
Jurassic World Evolution.
That's pretty good. I'd say that's up there. But like just scrolling through from like most recent to later, like the only one that sticks out to me like big game is The Division.
And Gears 5 technically came out on Gold, even though that was on Game Pass, but it came on Gold recently.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it has.
Like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that's the reason, but it feels like maybe they're just pulling from a smaller pool of games because there are so many that are on Gold. They don't necessarily want to put them as a free game as well because people probably complain about that.
I mean, from Game Pass, you don't want to pull from,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I already have Game Pass. Why are you giving me this for free? And it's like, well, I'm trying. I'm trying here.
Because it's not going to stay on Game Pass. That's the thing. So, not everything does. Not everything stays up there. They rotate.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably has, man. Because I haven't, it's nothing like a lot of the things on PlayStation Plus. I've been like, oh, nice. But it's been like hitting gems. Like mostly things for Xbox is like, oh, I didn't know this game. This game's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's not like a big AAA game I've really heard. I heard about before. Okay, you got anything else?
No, that's it for me. Ready for new releases, Dominic?
Yeah. We haven't got anything of quality like 2K16. WWE 2K16. Haven't got anything quality.
Is that what you want? All right. We got Persona 5 Strikers. You talked about that earlier. That is available on PC where you played it. Also on the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. You can check that out there. We also got Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. That's now out on the Nintendo Switch.
I want Ghosts and Goblins.
You want Ghouls and Goblins?
Yeah.
The Super Nintendo one.
That should be the next one.
It's been weird for me because I've been seeing some people talking trash about the game, and then I saw on Game Informer they gave that thing a 9. So I don't know.
So somebody's wrong.
Somebody's wrong. The art style looks okay to me. The animation that sticks a little too much to the old stuff, I think, looks a little janky. Mixed with the new animation or with the new art style. I do wonder how the gameplay is. It's nice that it has levels, difficulty levels now, because I'm sure those original games were way too hard for me. But it seems all right. I'll have to watch some more videos. Maybe there'll be a demo for it eventually at some point. Or maybe that'll be a Xbox or PlayStation game one day, Dominic, when it actually comes to those consoles. Although I feel like Nintendo published this or something weird. I don't know. So what I'm saying is Nintendo paid off Game Informer. Anyway, Dominic, Bravely Default 2 is now out on the Nintendo Switch. What do you think? Time to return to the Bravely Default.
I think I'm okay with just not. I mean, nothing against it. It's probably fine. It's not a game I'm going to play. A little bit against it, Dominic. I'm not going to be playing.
A little bit against the original one, at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully,
if they come with PC version, I'll maybe give it a try because I can put cheats and hurry up and get through it.
Mm. And not get stumped by
Warface. We got Warface. The same game, Dan. That has to be. I'm looking at it here because I have Warface. I downloaded it before, so this got to be Breakout is something that you had to pay for or something like that.
Fun. Let's see. Warface Breakout. I'll just look it up real quick. See what it is. Become the ultimate mercenary of tomorrow in Warface Breakout, a tactical online first-person shooter. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, Dominic.
Yeah, maybe it's different. I don't know. Are people still playing Spellbreak? That Battle Royale magic?
I think that just came out recently on the Epic Store, so maybe there are more people than there were playing it, but I definitely don't hear a lot of people talking about it, unfortunately. Because that did seem kind of novel.
It did. How about Space Otter Charlie? Did that game come out yet?
You know what? Space Otter. No. Although it says the initial release was in 2020, but also isn't released. Okay, March 18th, 2021, according to Steam right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that's saying. It almost feels like the way they word it on here, because it says planned release date March 18th, 2021. This game is not yet available on Steam. Is it available on Epic Store, maybe?
How about Bite the Bullet?
They're official.
It's like
Which one's Bite the Bullet?
Bite the Bullet is a side-scrolling game where you eat and shit, and like you get stronger.
Oh, I think
side-scroller shooter.
I think I remember that one now. Bite the Bullet. Yeah, the official website saying March 18th too. So Bite the Bullet, the movie, Dominic, starring Gene Hackman.
No.
Not that one. Let's see. Bite the Bullet on Steam. You can buy it now. Apparently
Really?
that released in August of 2020.
What? Damn. I did play it before. I did play before that, for the
summer games thing, right? Yeah. I like that he practices proper dental care, Dominic. He is flossing after eating bullets. That's good.
Yeah, it's $14.99.
Right. Yeah. So you got anything else for the week, Dominic?
No, I think I'm good. Oh man, look at her belly. She got a built fat belly. I'm a chubby chaser, Daniel. I like it.
Oh boy. All right. Are you talking about Chuella?
Yeah, Chuella. Yep,
Chuella.
Chewie and Chuella. Man, the Star Wars need to sue him. You can't call him Chewie.
All right, Dominic. If you don't have anything else, we'll close this up. Thank you as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. Podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all the previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, which has video forms of the podcast with gameplay of games that we discussed that week, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
All right, see you.